Welcome to the Shutter Saga Podcast. I'm your host, Marvin Blue. Join me each week as we dive into amazing conversations with some of our industry's top leaders. We will talk about photography, business, and most of all, share the stories that have laid the foundation to our journey in this world we call photography. A couple of ways to support the show is to like, subscribe, and share the show with others. Leave those 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and if you're a fan of seeing us live, we are on YouTube. Also, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Again, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
After dark.
All right, so everybody, so apparently we had more people coming in. This episode was not sanctioned. We were, just talking and more people jumped in. So I'm going to do something that I've never done, which we're going to open up and do a live Q&A, which is going to be new. So I know we got people in the room right now. If you're there and you can hear us and you see us, go ahead and tap something in the chat so I can see. I see a Chris saying, yo, a Latanya saying this is her sister.
Hi, Sissy. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, we can see her. We can see and hear. Okay, perfect. So since we have people in the room, type your questions in. What do you want to ask us? You can ask me anything. You can ask Margo anything. This has been really fun. And I got some people that left questions on Facebook Messenger and Instagram. So I'm going to go pull up the, So a lot of questions, I told you earlier, a lot of questions was stemming about creator series. So I'm going to ask, it was Margo, what was the toughest photo challenge you had on creator series?
Oh my goodness. You know, you would think the double exposure was the toughest one for me. It was the 5 lights.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
It was the 5 lights. Like, you have to use 5 lights, and using 5 lights and using them correctly is a total, is completely different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one. That was the one you won that challenge. You guys had the female model, African American. That had to be a challenge. I remember looking at that because you had to use 5 lights, and I just remember the pose. Like the thing I made, I said she gave the shocker pose to her crotch, and I was like, oh, did she not see that? Because at first they say, where do your eyes? Like Sal would always say, hey, where do my eyes go to? Where am I drawn to? And we see the shocker pose right to her crotch. I said.
So that is so funny. You know, like, it's one of my, let me get it off the wall. But this is it, y'all.
Yeah. Gorgeous image. It was super gorgeous.
So to me, I was hoping, I didn't expect her fingers to be pointing. I didn't even pay attention to that. I was just engulfed at all the triangles that the image possessed. Boudoir perspective, it was like triangle here, 2, 3, 4, with her whole entire body. It was just beautiful. Like,
it was a play on triangles, and it definitely worked. And like I said, the lighting was chef's kiss because first off, 5 lighting is tough. And then you 5 lit an African American female. That's why I said that week when it happened, I said the only other person that I could see giving you that challenge would have been Andre, and Andre had been eliminated. So I remember telling you that offline. But I'm the most I've ever,
reflector, and that was my 6th light is when I added the gold reflector. And that was a trick that I learned from Andre. He was like, when you're doing warmer skin tones, leverage the gold reflector, just different things. I always listen to seasoned, photographers. I always listen to you guys. Sometimes. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Got a question from the live room. It's from a Chris. He said, Margo, are you mentoring photographers? If so, what are the steps to get involved?
For me, I just want to have more of a meetup for photographers so that we can all grow and learn together. So I would say I'm not so much mentoring them, because for me to mentor someone, I just want to be a little bit stronger and more well-rounded. But if I'm doing a mentoring, it'll be one-on-one, primary genre will be boudoir.
Okay.
I hope I answered that, Chris.
As far as mentoring, I'm in the same boat. I do a lot of group settings. I'm one of those, I'm more so until I don't feel like I've mastered it to that level where it's like, yes, I need to be in front of 500 people teaching and have these
Mm,
plethora of students. I'm more so geared towards individual consultation, individual teaching, and these new crop of photographers that are in their 20s and early 30s, because in 10, 15 years, they're going to be the ones that potentially might be teaching my daughter. So I want to make sure that the industry is in good hands
mm,
with the knowledge, and it's just not the thing about photography that I always tell people is we have the lowest barrier of entry. You buy a camera, you're a photographer, and that's
mhm.
always been a struggle to go to just accept or whatever. But also, even though we have the lowest barrier of entry, we have the biggest turnaround too, because when people don't get
Mhm,
their way and they don't see that success, they quit within a year. So I want to
mhm.
stop seeing people quit so much because I'm tired of buying their new old gear basically, and then reselling
Oh
it,
yeah,
etc. Yeah, that's how
it's hard.
it is.
It's hard
Yeah.
not to quit. Like I tell
Mhm.
you that that is so I struggle with that all the time because like I said, um my husband, he invested a lot into me. And anyone that knows me, it's hard for me to change. It's hard to change my mind when I want to do something, when I don't want to go the route someone else wants me to go in. And he was like, Sal said it. You have an eye for this. You got this. You is natural. You need to learn your craft. And I'm like, I don't care what nobody say. I don't think that I'm good enough, and it's just going to take too much. I want to go back into the IT world.
Mhm.
And but last year he took a chance on me, and he was like, "Hey, babe, I need you to focus. I don't want you to go back into IT. I want you to take this opportunity to fully wrap yourself into photography because I believe in you." And I was like, oh, okay, oh my gosh. But it was so many times because you're depending on your clients to survive. You're
Oh
depending on your clients to um, take you through the next month. And then we took that leap of faith. I had my family believe in me and believe in me enough to to sacrifice with me and take that leap of faith to help me get into this beautiful space in downtown Duluth that I'm in here in Georgia.
yeah.
And it's tough, and many times I want to quit. Many times I'm like, I can get a consistent, I can go back to my good life, but every time I photograph a young lady or someone in their late 50s or 60s, and the transformation on how they feel internally, it keeps me going, and it keeps me wanting to be better. It keeps me wanting to keep trying to give them more and more of me. So it is tough, photographers. It is tough. It's not a cookie cutter. Don't let none of these folks out here selling you wolf tickets tell you that with this one camera in 6 months you'll be making seven figures. It's a lie.
Yeah, I wish it
It's
was. Oh my god, I used to like.
you know
I just remember, like I said, the good old. God, I sound so old when I said the good old days, 2013 when we first started. Like I used to hear all the sales pitches, and
think.
for me, it was always like, hey, if if this person isn't going to be around in 5 years, why the hell would I take business advice from them? That was kind of always my attitude. And it was like, I was very cautious on who to believe in because everybody had a great sales pitch. Everybody was the new breakout star, the new breakout coach or whatever. And I was just like, I need people to speak it to me in my language that I understand. But I also learned like from year one, the best thing that I could have ever did for myself was create a great support system. And
Yeah.
I've always admired Keisha specifically for it because I see a lot of guys that have issues when their wife is the photographer, and in some cases she's more talented. And in this case, I'll
Don't
say
say that out loud.
you're
I'm
more
just joking.
talented in boudoir. You're more talented in boudoir. So like when we say like I know you for boudoir, I don't know Keisha for boudoir, but
Mhm.
the fact that he gives you the amount of support that he gives you and the ego doesn't come into play because that's been the biggest thing I've seen with a lot of couples is somebody's ego gets fractured and then it becomes the fight and then that's what you've seen the married couples that get divorced or won't get divorced because they built a brand together but they can't stand each other so like
Mhm.
publicly they look like they're a couple but privately they're at each other's throats and To me, I always
It,
believe
it
like
happens. It
yeah.
happens. It happens, Marvin. Like
Hmm.
it happens to like it happens. It has happened to Keisha and I, like where um more so is like he believes in me more than I believe in myself
Hmm.
in this business, in this photography world, and we're fighting. He's fighting to push me, and I'm fighting to push away, and causing friction. Causing friction. Like I want to give up. I don't want to do this. Stop making me. I hate you. For forcing me to do this, and it happens. But it's a matter of coming, taking a deep breath and connecting and figuring out how to get on the same page.
Hmm.
It's is is how we were able to piece that thing back together to make sure that
Go ahead and bring him in. We've talked about him enough. Let's go ahead and let everybody see. This is kind of like our new uncut one. So, no, I
no,
mean,
he can't
I
come
always
on
say,
right now.
I
He
always say
was
that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, what did you say?
He was talking about how a lot of couples, one, he admitted that I was a better photographer. Let's start there. He said that I was the better photographer, and he can't believe that you accepted that.
Yeah, you're a better photographer.
I did not say
No,
it like that. You show this has been recorded, bro. Everything I said, you would hear exactly what I said. I said
no,
in boudoir, Margo is a great photographer, and she's probably better than you in boudoir. I didn't say a better all around photographer. I was
but
very
he's
specific.
awesome. He's awesome with lighting. He's
She's better.
Yes.
awesome. I mean, he taught me a lot, and
Oh, yeah.
he taught me a lot, and I truly appreciate him for that.
Chris just chimed in and says she is better than him. LOL. No, I've like, but
So,
like, going back to it, I've always said the support system was been the best thing. Like, for me to have the wife that's always been supportive in the aspect of like she knows what I'm doing, she knows where my heart is, she knows I want to be the best creative out there, and create these amazing images. There's never been the what about us. She knows when I'm not doing this, it's about her and the kids, and their time comes when it comes and everything, and all that stuff. And she knows like none of this I do is for nothing. And so for
yeah,
me to have the support that I have from my wife, and I've kept my family separate away from the industry specifically because people cross the line, people get personal. So I've always done that out of protection for my family and my own mental peace. Like, because it's one thing to
mhm.
come at me, I don't care, I'm used to it. But it's like you're not going to come at my wife, you're not going to message her and tell her I'm a shit photographer. Like, I'm not going to deal with that because I operate differently when it comes to them, her and the kids.
And you'll
You
be
know,
shocked. I'm that way with Keisha. I'm
yeah.
like, you can come for me. You can say whatever the heck you want to say, but don't come for Keisha. Keisha is the good guy for the
Hmm.
most part. He will help anybody, anytime, any day. He'll help whomever. And I'm like, you can come for me because I'm a soldier. I get in your throat, but don't come for him because he means
Somebody
well. He really loves this.
somebody said lefty fried rice, and I hear the smallest violin playing. Damn, Chris, I don't even know what that means.
He's talking crap.
I see. Okay, let me see.
No,
If any new questions came in. We got the Chris asked what's next for you, and then Latanya said, "What next for you now that you want?" So a lot of people want to know that what's next after the series. What's next for you?
um, I, like I said earlier, it's really tough. Like I just want to um, help photographers that are starting out, or even some. I've noticed that a lot of seasoned photographers that's been doing it a long photographing for a long time making the same mistakes, and I just want to offer my experience to help them overcome those mistakes, as it relates to the business side, as far as marketing, putting yourself out there. That is the hardest thing to do. um, we can't continue old schooling it, the way they used to do it back in the days. We have to, so just kind of like doing a little education,
Hmm.
a lot of awareness on that front, and then also getting better, trying new things in my craft, kind of blending maternity, um, high fashion, and as well as boudoir, making it a making it a little bit hot and spicy. Baby, can I
Um,
have?
we did get a question on Facebook Messenger. It said, how do you overcome the struggles of being a woman and a woman of color in this industry?
Ooh, it's tough, y'all. But, however, you know, I still say that I see the beautiful women. And now it's so funny that you asked that question because I wanted to make a post for awareness of the phenomenal Black but female photographers out there that are badass, that are doing their thing, and they may be unknown to you, but they're big in this industry. And I'll start naming a few that I've had the pleasure to meet. I would say Sophia Barrett,
Mhm.
amazing maternity photographer, creator. She is so talented and gifted and humble as pie. Leslie Andrews, creator, amazing photographer. Ria Boudoir, amazing boudoir photographer. Felicia Reed, Crystal Bird, um, Hadanika, Anika, all of these beautiful, amazing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a post and I'm gonna put on there so you ladies can see that we're out
Yeah.
here. Loretta Houston, if you ever get a chance to take her class and see how effortlessly this woman is able to create beautiful work with
Yeah.
anything that is in her face, it'll blow your mind. Um, these women are beautiful, they're badasses, and they don't mind connecting and talking to you. You just gotta talk. You gotta
Yep.
ask the question because we're here, we're making a difference, and we're good. And that's what I want to be a part of that list in the next couple of years of great women, Black female photographers, because we're
And
here.
and I'm going to challenge you. If you see that, if they're at Shutterfest and you see them, I want to get introductions with them because, like I said, I know a couple of names. Like I've met Loretta twice now, and it's just a wealth of knowledge. And there's again, there's levels to this game, and she's like broken down doors and barriers for our people. So I'm definitely proud to have got to be sitting in the same tables in the same rooms with her in the past. Mo just asked a question. Says, "What is it that makes you frightful about this industry?"
Um, oh man,
I don't know who Mo is, but Mo, where you from, by the way? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Let's try to figure out who Mo
Mo,
is. ATL.
he's from yeah.
Okay.
It's so crazy because it's about being a Black woman, being able to have those same opportunities, to be able to go in a room filled with people of the opposite race and still get the same respect and recognition. And I
Absolutely.
shouldn't have to rub shoulders and I shouldn't have to stand next to a certain person for you to ask me who I am. I am a photographer, I am a woman, and I am passionate about my craft. So I don't know if anybody felt that, but I meant that. That's one of the things that I'm not afraid. I've already been in those shoes and I didn't like it. I didn't like having to, I didn't like it. And so for me, what am I going to do about it? I'm going to get better. I'm going to make you know my name. I'm going to make you want to find out who I am and sit next to the great other, sit next to other great African American photographers that's out there.
Awesome. I mean, and just a caveat on that, like I personally, like I know what it's like to do twice as much to get half the love or half the respect or not be taken serious, but or be the comments of, I didn't know you were as good as you were. It's like, well, why haven't you been paying attention? Because nothing's, it's been, you're looking at a persona, you're looking at the person, but you're not looking at my work. You're just looking at, who I am. And it shouldn't take me being friends with certain people for me to get, oh, I'm a good photographer because these person wouldn't be friends with me if I wasn't good. No, that
Yeah.
shouldn't be the case. I
And
mean,
I don't like that
you
either.
could be a bad photographer and still have good friends. Like that's nothing wrong with that. It's about difference because I'm a good person. I just happen to be a good photographer, and it's like, you know, does it get old to constantly prove yourself? It does sometimes, but anytime, especially like when it's conference season, as I call it, we're getting ready to go to a bunch of conferences. I get in the mindset of when I go there, I'm going there to prove myself because I know I'm going to get judged. I know I'm going to get criticized. I know I'm going to get compared, and I've already prepared. I've had years of calluses built up to where that doesn't bother me anymore, and I have no problem proving myself because it's fun. I love proving people wrong, and I love the conversation was I thought I was the best photographer in the room, and then I met this guy named Marvin, and it was like, oh, there's a bar that's been set, and if I'm not doing as good as him, then I'm not as good as I think I am. If I'm going to be the what's called the benchmark, I'm okay with that. And now it's for me, my journey is from going from being the benchmark to not being the best.
Yeah,
You got
I
some,
just want to sit in the mist. Like for me, I just want to sit in the mist. I feel like when I go, I just want to learn and I just want to be better. I just want to get better. And I just want to have the same opportunities and that other great like I have seen like different elite groups and I've seen it. I'm like, me, I'm always asking for what is that group? What is that group? What is this group? Why is there not a lot of African American people in that group? And I admire Tamaya for just pushing, you know, being an advocate for African American photographers. Because I will tell you, when that several years back, when I came to WPPI on that first date, I can tell you that I did not. I probably seen out of 5,000 photographers that year, maybe 100 black
hmm
photographers, male and female. And female photographers was even less. And I, since that challenge that I remember her making and that she pushed out there, especially during the COVID days, um, hey, we're out here, we're just as good. Having those opportunities for black photographers or black brown photographers, Latino photographers. There's some amazing. I met
mm
so many great Latino photographers
Oh
that's
yeah.
out there killing it, and it's just we're out here. Give us a chance. Allow us in those spaces. Allow us these opportunities. Sometimes we don't know. A lot of our culture did not know that WPPI or Shutterfest and all these things because we're so focused on taking care of our family and grinding for our family, that opportunity of knowing that all this education, thank God for social media. Now we know
Absolutely.
and we're coming for you. So I just but we're out here and we are being noticed because our work is just as great as everyone else.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I've early in my career, I've shown up to some of the workshops and conferences and being the only black face there, and I just go, well, here we go, because I already know like what to kind of like that. Oh, it's like the black dude in Whole Foods doesn't sit well with it. I'm here. It's time to go shopping. But question came in. Looks like Mo asked another one. It says, as a black female, do you feel that you are challenged in the industry as far as other photographers that are non-black?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think just me. I just feel like for me, I don't want to use I don't want to go in I don't go in a competition. I don't go in a space assuming it's a race thing. However, I'm not blinded that it could be a race thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't say, "Oh, because I'm black I deserve." No, I deserve to be wherever it is that I am because I'm here. But I feel like I don't go at anything thinking because of my color, I deserve to win. I deserve that. I just feel like give me those opportunities to compete. Give me those opportunities to show that I am a great speaker. I am qualified to, to be in those circles.
Nice. He said, I've seen her work. She's dope AF, but her personality is way better. I guess they're talking
Oh,
about you.
oh, thanks. I
No, I
do
mean,
have a little fan, maybe one or two out there in this world,
yeah,
you know.
you got a fan base. Like I said, my following, I've always accepted it. I said I have a very much an underground following, and I've got no problem with that. Like the hardcores know who Marvin Blue is. Some people are just not discovering who I am. I'm cool with that, you know. But now is the time to break out because I know like I've got about 10, maybe 15 years left in me in doing this, and then you know I'm gonna hang it up. And when I hang it up, I know I would have done 20 plus years in this in this industry. Um,
Mhm.
and like I said, I've had to humble myself. And like when I was telling you that there are times when I'm like, man, I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I didn't do enough, I didn't accomplish enough. But then I meet somebody, or I have somebody says, man, I wish I had your career. So then I have to remind myself to not get in my own way, get out of my own head, and not, you know, not feel sorry for myself. I don't allow myself to do that. You know, are there times where I'm like, damn, you know, it took me this long to be making six figures a year, or it took me this long to, you know, book this many weddings in a year or whatever, or to consistently book. But the one thing that I have to remind myself is that I've consistently booked. I've consistently been challenged as a photographer. I'm still in the spaces and the to get the opportunities to do more things and to grow. And even yeah, I may not be teaching at this conference and doing that, but how many times have I been invited to a photo walk? How many times have I been invited to take over and get a 15-minute section? I say, okay, they're only going to give me 15 minutes to teach something. I'm going to make those 15 minutes count. And I think that's why I said for me, it's being ready when an opportunity comes, whether it's a 15 minutes talk, a 5 minute showing, whatever, you know, whatever opportunity is given to me, make it count. So when people walk away, go, hey, the conference was garbage, but Marvin's photo walk was the shit, you
Yeah.
know. That's always been my attitude. And it's like pushing the people around me to get better. Like, because if they get better, I'm going to get better. I love being challenged and I love bouncing off those ideas. And, you know, that's just, I can't wait to do boudoir work because, like, I got thrown into, I got catapulted into boudoir. I never expected it but I got into it because I shoot weddings. My brides wanted to do those pictures, and I was tasking it out to a girl that I knew. She was great, but she moved. And before she moved, she was like, "You have to take over your boudoir because I can't do it. I'm not flying back to Texas." So I've had to challenge myself over the years to continue to get better and push the limits. And you know, oh, that was so I got two questions. One came in on Instagram. It was how what advice do you have for guys navigating the boudoir space?
Um, I think that men are great, can be great at boudoir because men know, they know the art of a woman. You know, women know, we know our bodies, things like that. We're good. We can teach a woman, but a woman want to impress that man. So if that male photographer is not going to make that woman feel uncomfortable, if that male photographer is going to see that woman as a client and empower her, do boudoir. If you're going to be that male photographer that makes that woman feel creepy, uncomfortable, you're saying, let me see your butt, let me see this, let me see that, you know, if you're not going to respect her, do not do boudoir because these women, our roses, my roses, are coming to do boudoir shoots to empower them, to build them, to bring the pieces back, put the pieces back that they have lost due to domestic violence, self-esteem, losing weight, all these things that women do. Is if you choose to be a male photographer, tap into that, and that will make you successful. There's some phenomenal male photographers out there: Michael Sasser, Marco Ibanez, and
I've learned from
Kiati.
Sasser. Yeah, Sasser,
Yeah,
dude,
and
is off the chain
Kiati.
amazing.
Kiati is coming to, and Sean Black. Those
Yeah,
guys,
Sean.
they,
Everyone thinks me and Sean like we should do something together because his
yeah,
last name's Black, and I made a joke. I
yeah,
said the Black and Blue connection is coming for you, and they're like, dude, that should be a world tour. We made this big joke, and they were like, how long you guys been friends? And it was like, we just met this like last year when we met, but I was on his radar because of my last name being Blue, and they used to joke say Black and Blue need to get together and do something. We carried. I said he does boudoir, and I just do my weddings. And but I learned from him. I learned from Sasser. Those were my two guys I learned from, and I learned from
and they
Pacheco.
teach that, and they teach that. So I think that, like, especially like for me when I'm doing, if I go and do a boudoir shoot at a wedding, I always talk to the photographers and say, hey, I'm coming in. What's my window? I respect that wedding photographer, and I go in and do my job and I leave. And I say, if you need anything else, I'm here. If not, I'm going to roll out, because I respect what they're doing.
Hmm.
But for those male photographers that want to do both, just tap into that side of a woman, and it will help add additional stream of revenue, especially if you can tap into it and not look like it as a quick photo shoot or just someone sexy and you just photographing. I'm trying to keep it PG, but
Yeah.
you
No,
know
I
what
get
I'm
it.
saying.
So Chris asked this one, and I think we'll make this the last one because I've taken up an hour for the first show, and now
I
we're going
know.
30 minutes strong. So
Oh
I'm
my
after
God.
there's going to definitely be a part two, part three with you, like you,
Thank you
Brandy,
guys
like
for
yeah.
loving me enough to ask questions. Like it's helping me, because like I said, it gets tough out here because
Hmm.
it outside of getting to know other photographers, it's still a real world out here. You still have to
Hmm.
go out there and do the work. So I guess this is a great segue to Chris'
So
question.
Chris said you got fans, and then he said, "What systems and process do you have in place for booking and maintaining relationships with clients?" That is an awesome question, and that's a great question to end this on. So yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Uh, I don't know if you were on earlier, Chris, but through trying all these different softwares, I've tried almost every platform you can think of. But I would say 2 years ago, my husband and I was like, okay, we got to be able to do something different, and we partnered with the pools, and we were able to develop a tool called Lead Savage. A Lead Savage is a white label tool that we curated for photographers, because we were using Calendly, we were using Sprout, we was using this, we were using that. And for someone that's new in photography, or even a seasoned photographer, having all these tools that you're trying to manage, as well as speak to clients, talk to clients, book the clients, shoot the client, call the images, edit the images, buy the products, all that kind of stuff. So that was a downfall for us in the starting phases of my business. And when we came up with Lead Savage and we were able to partner with the pools, it was a game changer. So today, and for the past year or two, I have been using a tool called Lead Savage that I am proud to say I am one of the owners of. Lead Savage is a tool that will help you streamline your business. From an IT perspective, it's so robust. It's a lot. It's not something that anything that can do multiple things have to be more robust to handle it, from email marketing to multiple calendars to social media to um, 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 Facebook ads to all those things. You have to have a tool that you can use, no matter if it's Lead Savage, uh, disruptive marketing, plug for Sal, plug for us, plug for Meet Nikki, plug for Tave, 17 Hats, all these tools. You got to find the right tool that works for you, because without the right tool, you will drown. You can continue doing Excel and all that good stuff and driving yourself crazy, but you have to find a tool that is in the 21st century that is going to help you be great. And today, I love using Lead Savage. It's an amazing tool, and it helps me to communicate with my clients in one spot. So that's what I use. And ask me more about it off the air, and I don't mind showing you how I use it and how it has changed my life.
Oh yeah, and just to caveat on that, I did. It was a couple weeks ago. I still am doing the process of setting everything up for it, but I did join Lead Savage specifically because I need that in my life. And Chris, if you're interested, leave your email address in the thing. I
Mhm.
think I have a referral code. I can send that. I can email you that information so you can get information on it and everything. Because we definitely want to promote the things that we use. I'm not afraid of saying like what brands I use, what whether I
Mhm.
some photographers, they like want to keep everything secret. I've told people like this
Oh,
is
I
who I
hate
use for
that.
canvas. This is who I use for albums. I don't use H&H for my albums. I use this other company. I use I use H&H for my prints. I use H&H and White House Customs for my prints. I use Pro Prints for my canvases. I've been with Pro Prints for years. They were one of the first companies that ever like gave me that. And now most recently there's talks about sponsorship. So like
Mhm.
again, I rock with who I use, and
You have
it's
to pay
what.
attention.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
And
have
like
to pay
you have like
attention to your cost of goods.
yeah,
As photographers, you have to pay
big
attention
time.
in order to be successful. You say you want to be that six-figure, seven-figure business, you have to pay attention to the cost of goods. Me, that was the hardest thing for me to do because I love giving my clients everything. I want to give them everything, but I also have to remember that this is a business, and I have to pay attention. I have to give them great quality. So with that, you have to, on the back end, you have to build those relationships with your vendors. That is key. But you also have to do what's best, maintaining quality, but do what's best for your business. So,
Absolutely. All right, so I got follow me at urbaneats.tv. What?
oh,
Okay.
he, yeah, but that's his email address.
Okay, I see. I was like, oh, I thought he was like making a plug for himself. I'm like,
No,
okay.
no, that's his email address. But he's Chris. I met him at Shutterfest. I met Chris at Shutterfest. He is now an amazing videographer
Okay,
and influencer. So, but
nice. Well, no, we
and he
will
has a
definitely.
space in St. Louis, so a podcast type studio in St. Louis.
Okay, right on. So we'll see him at Shutterfest then, Chris. Will we see you there?
Mhm.
Oh, he said
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir. All right.
Yay!
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your
All right,
time.
y'all.
You give me so much of your time today. We got so many gems. I'm saving Chris's email now so I can just get that. But guys, thank you so much to the people that tuned in with the questions. I don't know how I'm gonna incorporate this into the next episode. I might just do a secondary one or just use clips from this to promote her episode. We'll figure it all out. But this was
I
breaking
don't
new
know
ground,
what
doing
you gonna do.
a live episode was really cool. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm excited the direction that the podcast is going. And you know, you are the first woman that I've had on the show, so it's been really cool. And we're just gonna keep growing this thing. And I look forward to the next time we have you on the air. Okay,
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
later, guys. That's it for this week's show. Again, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with others. Leave those reviews and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until then, see you next week.